Hello and welcome to Tuesday. Here we are in the second day of our week, if we're counting Monday as the first day. And day number 2 of 7 in this particular week, as we're following up on last week's Truth Seekers, and we're connecting back with those ideas that were presented there with a meditation on the hard sayings of Jesus. Meditating on the hard sayings of Jesus. We often want to avoid the hard sayings. They require thought, meditation, dwelling on them, running them over and over, asking this question: Lord, what did you mean when you said that? And then the next hard question: okay, I understand what you meant when you said that. How does that play out in my life? And those are two powerful questions we can ask when we're meditating. This is what allows the Word of God to become active within us. It's quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword. The book of Hebrews chapter 4 verse number 12 says that. One of the variations of translation says it's lively and active. Another one, quick and powerful. When we allow it place in our life, when we mix it with faith, when we trust, confide in it, then it becomes powerful, transforming our thinking, transforming our mind, our will, and our emotions, and bringing life to our soul. That's why we have these meditations, these devotions. It's an opportunity to deepen and strengthen the work of the Lord in our life. And of course, it's focused on His Word. We're looking today and continuing to look for the next couple weeks on the hard sayings of Jesus. And this one is in the area of law and righteousness. When Jesus goes on to say, we looked yesterday at the law, he said, I did not come to destroy it, throw it down, do away with it, but to fulfill it. Now, the law had lawyers and people trying to understand how it all fit together. And there were many divisions of schools of thought about how to approach the law. And there were times that people were so exasperated that with all the law and the lawyers, here's what they wanted to do. They wanted to just do away with it. Can't we all just get along? Can't we just get rid of the law? Well, the answer is no. The law serves a function. And the Apostle Paul would really help us to understand that in the book of Romans. But in the life of Jesus and at the beginning of His ministry, as the crowds are starting to form, He is teaching His disciples and the crowd something very important. And He says, when it comes to the law and righteousness, I tell you, until heaven and earth disappear, not the smallest letter, not the least stroke of a pen will by any means disappear from the law. The jot and the tittle, the difference between an O and a Q is simply a little line, a little mark. Think about that. When we're reading through, if suddenly we saw a little mark on that O, we would say, what's that Q doing there? The Q is a consonant, and we're looking for a vowel like an O, an A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y. And suddenly we come to a halt as we read by that little mark. Within the markings of Hebrew, within the markings of Greek, it even applied to Greek. The iota, one of the smallest letters. How about the yod in Hebrew? The smallest letter. Looks like almost a comma right there. Just a little mark. But it's important. Whenever they developed vowel pointers later, very important, something called diacritical markings that give us indicators how to deal with and interact with that word. All of these were little grammatical helps. Even if it was the most basic Hebrew, there were similarities in letters that, with just a little piece missing, might create confusion. Jesus says, not the least stroke of a pen will by any means disappear from the law until everything is accomplished. The law is speaking of Him, the one who is to come, the Messiah. The prophets are testifying to the coming Messiah. Why would Jesus obliterate the thing that is speaking of Him? He says it's not going to be dealt with until everything is accomplished. And we have not yet seen everything accomplished. Not one stroke of the pen will be gone. This is the enduring aspect of the Word of God. So how do we deal with that? How do we handle the law? We look at the law as speaking of, first of all, the great love of God and pointing us to His great compassion. It also exposes our tendency of brokenness and failure. But it also points to the perfect one who was prophesied and has come and is coming again. It serves as a testimony to He is going to faithfully complete and accomplish everything that has been begun. Well, that's a great thought to think today. God's grace and peace be upon you as you let that sink down into your spirit and challenge you and surface in life within your mind, your will, and your emotion. Lord bless you. I'll see you tomorrow.